In today's video, we bring you the third part of the We Are Yesterday arc, now in Batman Superman World's Finest 2025, Annual Number 1. The chapter begins in the Hall of Doom, a fortress built by Gorilla Grodd in just 31 hours. Seated on his throne, he observes the grandeur of his creation. Coming from the past, Grodd escaped a future marked by failure, and now he inhabits a younger, more powerful body. With his superior mind, he gathered individuals with a rare kind of aggression, the only ones capable of changing fate. This place was designed to hide them from eyes and powers that could track them. Here, the Legion of Doom is born. Grodd addresses the group as friends and announces that a new era is about to begin. In front of him, Cheetah watches with hostility. Black Manta, Sinestro, and Scarecrow remain silent. Joker just waits, wearing his eternal grin. Bizarro says he doesn't like Grodd much, while Luthor makes it clear there is no friendship here. Captain Cold adds that they would never be friends. Grodd begins to introduce his team. He had already probed their minds and laid out strategies. Lex Luthor, the cold, calculating genius. Bizarro, clumsy and foolish, but nearly invincible. Captain Cold, cunning and methodical. Cheetah, wild and untamed. Scarecrow, the living embodiment of fear. Sinestro, the power of terror in light form. Black Manta, driven by an insatiable thirst for blood. And Joker, so chaotic that even Grodd felt revulsion at his mind. At the center, the gorilla speaks again. He apologizes for the improvised decor, but assures them they'll want to hear his plan. Luthor demands he get to the point, and Sinestro reinforces the threat. If he doesn't talk, he'll die right there. Joker, meanwhile, is having a great time. Still, Grodd remains calm. He says he'll start with the truth. Everyone in that room is a complete failure. The reaction is immediate. Black Manta threatens to kill him. Cheetah charges, promising to rip out his heart. Bizarro mumbles that he'll help them kill him. And Grodd, unfazed, says he meant no offense. He merely stated a fact. He includes himself among the defeated. That's precisely why he brought them together. Joker laughs again, thinking Grodd is degrading himself. Scarecrow senses insecurity. But Grodd firmly declares that he has no fear or phobias. What he has is knowledge of the future. He proves it by focusing on Sinestro's ring. Using only his mind, he activates the power of fear, leaving the aliens stunned. Black Manta urges they kill him now, but Sinestro says wait. He feels the time flow inside the ring. The truth is undeniable, and at last, Sinestro confirms it is real. This is the future. Grodd then presents a vision of his time. A colossal tower orbits the Earth, the Justice League Watchtower. Advanced and all-seeing, it houses hundreds of members. The League has united to rule like gods. In that future, every villain present had been defeated, humiliated, and broken. Their grand plans had come to nothing. Grodd states they must do the same, create their own supremacy. The villains react uneasily, except Luthor, who refuses to accept failure. Grodd asks if they accept this grim shared destiny. With his ego and pride wounded, Luthor demands to know Grodd's next step. The answer is very clear. They will skip the years of failure and travel straight to the future. They must catch the Justice League at their blind spot, take the Watchtower, and rule with absolute supremacy. But before facing the heroes of the future, they must defeat the heroes of the present. And indeed, we see that Grodd's plan is already in motion. We see Superman taking down Moon Man with a single punch. Batman and Robin join the action as well. And as this unfolds, Grodd reveals his hidden purpose, something he kept secret from the other members of the Legion of Doom, knowing the alliance was still fragile and they would never agree. Grodd envisions a world ruled solely by his species, with everyone, heroes, villains, humans, and metahumans, as his servants. That is his true goal. When Superman checks on Moon Man's condition, several alerts go off. Flash needs help in Central City, Atom in Ivy Town, and another alarm is triggered at Professor Nichols's lab. Grodd had foreseen resistance before their escape to the future, and he was right. Batman quickly connects the dots. Nichols has a time ray, Atom protects Professor Hyatt's time tank, and Flash travels through time using his cosmic treadmill. None of this seems like coincidence. He proposes an attack with 3 teams and asks about Diana. Clark says she and Supergirl are in space. Robin volunteers to lead one of the teams, but Superman says he himself can reach Flash in seconds. Batman warns about the risk posed by the time tank, which can disintegrate organic matter. Robin insists he can handle it, but Batman suggests another solution, calling in an ally currently on assignment with the FBI. With no better options, Superman agrees. As for Robin, he'll join Batman at the 3rd location. At the Flash Museum in Central City, Grodd prepares to execute his strategy, a devastating surprise offensive. His allies are at the peak of their abilities, especially Luthor. But Luthor protests that overloading the treadmill might destroy it, and too much flow could rupture the siphon. Bizarro is already on the treadmill, with a frozen Flash behind him. Still, Grodd ignores the warnings, claiming the plan must proceed. Bizarro tries to alert them that someone is coming to help Flash, but his jumbled speech delays their understanding. Until suddenly, Superman appears, landing a powerful blow on Bizarro. Without hesitation, the Man of Steel uses his heat vision to free Flash, who jokes that it's time for a victory lap. Grodd's narration returns. Even at their peak, the Legion of Doom could never truly win. That's why he has a contingency, Pythoness, the mysterious red-haired sorceress. Grodd convinced her to help by telling her that she died in his future. She asks how, but he refuses to share. After all, information is power. She accepts his reasoning, but Grodd offers her something more, a future she never lived. She says nothing in response, and Grodd takes that as consent. With that, he asks for a mission update. At Professor Nichols's lab, Scarecrow confirms success. The area is flooded with fear toxin, and the professor is hallucinating about giant bees. Grodd then orders the tachyon energy to be drained immediately. Scarecrow suggests stealing the portable time ray, but Grodd refuses, stating the timeline is fragile and nothing can go wrong after the villain's departure. Scarecrow argues that 9 villains are attacking 3 major cities, and that hardly qualifies as a secret mission. This sparks Grodd's fury. He punches the wall in frustration. They need the element of surprise, not a traceable weapon. That's when Batman emerges from the shadows, confronting Scarecrow, who is then struck by the Dark Knight. Robin follows shortly with a flying kick to Joker. Scarecrow counters with fear gas and ends up triggering a hallucination in Joker. So much so that the Clown Prince grabs a hammer that transforms into a massive mallet and hits Robin. Batman quickly administers an antidote to himself and Robin. Joker gets a different remedy, a knockout elbow. But Scarecrow, now holding a weapon, turns it on Batman and declares that this is the end. Elsewhere, Grodd contacts his 3rd team. At Professor Hyatt's lab, Black Manta and Sinestro confirm the mission was a success. Atom was neutralized, and the nearby instruments are saturated with tachyon energy. Suddenly, Plastic Man intervenes, announcing their time is up. Sinestro wants to seize the chance to torment him, but Cheetah leaps in first. Plastic Man quickly dodges her like a cat-and-mouse game and throws her at her allies. Sinestro finally attacks, but Plastic Man escapes dancing dressed as a cowboy. Black Manta activates a gravity magnet to try and tear the hero to pieces. And indeed, Plastic Man begins to stretch and contort grotesquely. He screams, it sounds like homemade pasta. Just as he's about to be shredded, a green glow appears, signaling the timely arrival of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Sensing Sinestro's yellow energy, Hal grabs Plastic Man, but Sinestro hits him with a yellow construct. As he prepares to finish Hal, Manta reminds him they need to leave. They've already completed the mission and can't waste time. Back at Nickel's lab, Scarecrow fires the time ray at Batman. A tachyon explosion hits Dick instead of Batman and begins to warp time. Visions distort. The Flying Graysons act. Dick mourning his parents, Bruce reliving the tragedy. That's when Batman realizes something is changing. At the same time, at the Flash Museum, Superman strikes Bizarro again, who winces in pain. Meanwhile, Flash is also beating up Captain Cold. Luthor, nervous, tells Grodd that things are spiraling out of control. Grodd, unfazed, demands they speed up the treadmill. If they want to survive, they must accelerate it enough to stretch the stored tachyon energy. That's when Luthor finally realizes Grodd really did plan everything. He yells for Bizarro to get back on the treadmill and run faster. And indeed, Bizarro throws Superman aside like a toy, jumps onto the cosmic treadmill and starts running as fast as he can. The effect is instant. Superman and Flash freeze in time, motionless, as the villains leap slightly into the future. Luthor considers it brilliant, even if only temporary. But back at base, Grodd stands firm. He had asked for the group's trust, and everything is unfolding as planned. Their return to his future will be flawless. But Luthor raises one last concern. Tachyon energy can regenerate, but the heroes saw them take it. The League won't forget what happened. They'll investigate the event, and by the time the Legion reaches the future, the heroes might already be waiting. That's when Grodd reveals the twist. That's exactly the idea. They're the ones waiting for the heroes, and when they arrive, it'll be checkmate. And indeed, at that moment, a green flash lights up the scene. It's Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, Flash, Atom, and Plastic Man, who had been chasing the villains. Superman declares that the villains' plan ends now, but Grodd calmly says, "This is just the beginning." He summons Pythoness, who begins casting a spell. They had broken in like thieves, and now they would leave like gentlemen, quietly and unseen. Luthor activates the device, admitting she was a good ally. Future Airwave confirms that the time jump system is ready, and as Pythoness casts the final illusion, she whispers that Cheetah will be left behind. Yes, Cheetah ends up betrayed in the end. Everyone will believe she acted alone and forget the rest. The spell then engulfs all the heroes in darkness, and when it clears, Cheetah is seen being held at Blackgate Penitentiary. Wonder Woman, who had previously been in space, returns questioning how Cheetah acted alone in 3 locations. Superman confirms that other heroes saw her in all 3 scenes, but Cheetah refuses to talk. Diana admits she never thought Cheetah could pull off something like this, and Superman corrects her. She didn't. That's why they caught her. Diana also asks what happened to Robin, and Batman doesn't know what to say, because this time they have no way to track him. All he can say is that he will do everything he can to find him. Now, just to be clear, this entire story happened in the past, but in the final scene of this issue, we're taken back to the present, to the Justice League Unlimited Watchtower. We see the Robin from the past, who was hit by Scarecrow's time ray, waking up here and murmuring Batman's name as he sees him on the monitors. Batman is completely confused. He doesn't understand how Dick is here, younger and dressed as Robin, while Nightwing is standing right next to him. Yes, 2 Dick Graysons in the same timeline, making Bruce realize that something is very, very wrong.